What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today I got the HAPPYRUN G70. This is the Pro model. This one has two motors on it, more power, more hill capability, more torque. However, there's one interesting thing they did on this bike, and I'm gonna get into it right now. So on the screen right now, you guys can see I have a chart that basically shows the G70 Pro versus the non-Pro. So you guys can see what they basically changed, depending if this bike is gonna be worth it for you or not. If you need a hill climbing torque e-bike, you need something to go through the sand, mud, whatever, you're definitely gonna want the Pro model. However, if you want range, you actually want the non-Pro model, because now that we have two motors on this thing, and you can see it's dual 2500 watt peak motors compared to original, it was a peak power of 2000 watts. One thing that was surprising that they changed though, check out the batteries. They used to have 20 amp hour batteries on the top right here on the non-Pro, then they had an 18 on the bottom. Now they switched it to an 18 up top and a 15 on the bottom. Now I'm gonna verify this. We're gonna take the batteries off and check, because I feel like they went the opposite way. I feel like they have a lot of room right here. We should have had a bigger battery on the Pro model, but maybe it's just to offset the cost from the difference of the Pro and the non-Pro, so it wasn't too far out of reach and people would want to grab this one instead of getting the non-Pro. I don't know, but anyways, let's check out these batteries and let's see if this information is correct. All right, first battery out, super light. And this says 15 amp hours for the top. So maybe they mean the top is the bottom, because this one does look bigger. So anyways, 15 amp hours, this one then should be 18. And if you're curious, this is a 48 volt system, and that comes out to about 720 watt hours from the top battery. Second battery is a little harder to get off because you do have these cables right here. And looking at this is an 18 amp hour battery. So this is an 864 watt hour battery. So yeah, they went smaller on these batteries. Now, another thing I noticed on this bike when I sat on it for the first time, I was expecting it to be super low like the original G70 was. And I got my tape measure just to kind of show you. It's still a low seating bike, but it's not as low as the original one. So here we go. So this is sitting at right under 33 inches right here if you sit at the lowest spot. If you sit normally kind of in the back, how I do, because I am a bigger person, I'm 5'9", I'll sit on in a second to show you. It's a little bit over that, about 33.5. Now, the suspension in the back is adjustable. They did change it, so that's something that you got to keep in mind. Also, it comes with this rear seat right here because it is a two-seater. You do have the pegs and stuff in the back, but if you do put this on, keep in mind you are going to have to fling your leg all the way around, so just keep that in mind. If you're a short person, go with the non-Pro. If you're a taller person, you're gonna like the Pro. And so here is where I would sit on the bike. This is how I feel comfortable. My hands are perfect in a good position right here. But if you are shorter, you could sit right here, and you're probably gonna have to sit here if you do have a passenger behind you, so you guys aren't smashed up together. But yeah, I mean, this is a little close, but I think the average rider is gonna sit around right here. If you aren't gonna have a passenger pack here and you're gonna go to the grocery store a lot, or you work at a grocery store like my buddy does, that I sold one of these to, and he absolutely loves the original G70. He absolutely loves it. I think he would like this one more if he can get on it because it's a little taller, but he uses this thing all the time, and he said it's the perfect accessory. All you have to do is take the seat off, take this rear backrest off, and it literally sits just like that. But of course, you know, in the front right there, and you could put a lot of stuff in the back. Now, moving on to something that you guys are either gonna love or hate, this bike comes with a bunch of accessories. Now, I'll put a picture up on the screen and show you how many accessories I had to put on this bike, because you have the turn signals, you got the headlight, you got the rear brake light with the turn signals, you got the extra seat in the back that you could put on, you got the pedals, you got the fenders, you got this that comes in it so you can air this thing up just in case you don't have an air pump, because I do believe the tires came a little low. You do get two chargers though, which is very nice. Some companies do not give you two chargers. However, they are not fast chargers. They're only 2 amp chargers, so it is gonna take a little bit to charge this thing up. But the fact that it gives you two and you can just plug it in, walk away, come back in the morning, your bike's ready to go, that is awesome. You also get all the tools in here to build this bike, so you don't have to order your own tools or have a toolbox like I do, so that's very nice that they include this. It also comes with a bike lock, which I think is super nice. Now, it's not the best quality, but I mean, just to get by for a week until you order a big beefy one, depending on your area and if you're worried about people stealing it, it does come with one, so that's kind of nice. It also comes with NFC cards. It comes with 2 of them. I got one in my pocket right now, so I can activate the bike later. So make sure you don't lose these, because if you do lose these, then you cannot turn turn the bike on. And here is the manual that basically tells you how to do everything. It also tells you how to program NFC chips on the display as well, just in case you do lose one or have to program a new one. So that is nice. It also comes with 2 keys for the bottom battery, and it also comes with 2 keys for the top battery. Now here is the biggest change of all that's very hidden, and it's right here. You notice that there is no switch here anymore, because before, the G70 used to run off of 1 battery at a time, and then you switch it depending on what battery you want to run. Now this thing runs off of both batteries exactly at the same time using a battery blender that is next to the controller in here. So you don't have to switch from batteries. You can have one off if you want, turn the other one on later. I would just leave both of them on, but anyways, I think that's a nice feature that they got rid of that switch. It was a nice safety feature to disable the batteries per se, because if you had it in the middle, both batteries would not activate the bike, so you had to make sure they were turned on to at least 1 battery, but I like the fact they got rid of it. And honestly, other than that, guys, I'm not gonna run through everything on this bike because I already reviewed the other one previously and it's exactly the same. So let's get out here and see how the G70 Pro performs. All right, so there's a sequence to turn this bike on. You gotta hold the S button. That's when you need your NFC. The NFC normally activates right there. And now we're good to go. Starts in 5 almost all the time. You gotta switch your modes, go down to 0, then you have no throttle response, but you can pedal the bike and it just be like it's non-electric, but it is a heavy bike. It's actually 3 or 4 pounds heavier than the original G70, but it's not by much because they lowered the battery size, so that kind of helped with the weight. But anyways, we're gonna go and start in 5, and I do like how this covers more of the screen this time. I think last time it didn't sit very well. This actually feels like it goes way over, so I can see this a lot better now. Oh, okay, whoa. A lot different. A lot different. Yeah, definitely a huge difference. Oh yeah. You know, it's actually nice and gradual in the front. It doesn't just pill out like crazy like some other bikes do. It actually takes like a brief second for it to kind of ramp the power on the front motor. So it's actually kind of nice. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is see the torque and top speed of this thing, because we do have a full battery charge on both these batteries. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. Okay, a little bit of slippage from the front, not too bad. This already says over 20. This is getting past 20 now. This looks like it might be off, I don't know, let's see. Oh, also another thing with bikes that have dual motors and everything like that is that they are definitely a lot more bouncy in the front when you let your hands off. And I can feel that brake rotor in the front making a lot of noise now. We gotta bleed these brakes in, so we'll have to get to that later. But check this out. The display is actually reading under what we're going. We're doing 35 miles an hour. This says 33. So surprisingly, 36 and 33. Huh, interesting. Now I gotta say, right off the bat, first initial impression is that the suspension is very, very plush. The seat is absolutely fantastic. One of the best seats for my ass anyway. I am loving the comfortability out of it and the seating position and everything. I feel like I'm sitting upright, not hurting my back. This is a very nice, comfortable bike to just ride in general. So remember when I said this really covers the display up here? Well, it does, but when the sun is behind you, it doesn't block anything. So these numbers I cannot read at all when the sun is shining directly on this display. However, when we do our second video at night, this is one of the nicest, gorgeous displays for night riding. Just during the day, it's not great. What a lot of people have been doing is tinting these with like window tint or something you put on a car. So that's an option of you guys doing that if you guys want to see that display in direct sunlight. Now it's been a while since I got on the G70 non-pro, maybe 4 months or so. And I gotta say the weight, I don't even notice really the front weight. Like maybe in a turn just a little bit, like right now I can feel it, but it's not that noticeable of having that front motor on. The power is definitely noticeable though. You hit it, feels like a regular G70, and then give it a second or two, that front motor picks up and goes. All right, let's see how it does in the dirt. No one's out here. It's so comfortable. It's so like plush suspension. I absolutely love it. Whoa, and that is bumpy. That was back-to-back bump after bump. And that took it like a champ. That is nice. Seriously, that is some very, very nice suspension. Coming into some sand real quick. All right. Making it over, no problem. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Now, I wish there were some settings that I can kind of change that front motor to give me the power quicker. because when you're rolling, and I let off just for a brief second because I'll see like a pothole or something, I kind of wanted to give me the power right back, right when I get back on it, but it doesn't. It feels like it gives me half the power, and then the front motor kicks on about 2 seconds later. So there's a little delay on that. It's not terrible or nothing. I just wish you can get rid of that delay if you liked it, but it is a nice safety thing that there is a delay, because some bikes with front motors can really take off from you if you're not careful. Now, compared to the original G70 that only had one motor, this thing is definitely louder. You got 2 motors, double the noise, but what's actually louder than the motors are the tires. The tires are actually pretty noisy on the road. I've noticed that. That's the main thing. Once you get past like 34 miles an hour or so on your max speed, those tires are howling down the road. Let me show you guys the pickup speed of this thing real quick, and then we're gonna do a braking test at 28 miles an hour. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, see, that's a nice gradual start. Very nice and safe, but decent amount of power. And keep in mind, that was in mode 3, and the reason why we're in mode 3 is because that is the closest to 28 miles an hour. We actually, let's bump it up to 4. Yeah, I'm gonna have to regulate it though. I think 3 brings us up to about 26, and this brings us up to about 32. So we're gonna get close to 28 right now, boom. All right. I'm telling you, these brakes work really good. Look how close I stopped. That was about 27 miles an hour, but these brakes are fantastic. Hands down, really, really good brakes. They're from DY Island. The back one is definitely way massive compared to the front one. I mean, look how small the front one is. My hand's bigger than that, but the back one is huge. All right, let's see how it does out here. Woo! All right, a little slippery. Move it into 5, get all the power possible. We're down 1 battery bar after 6 miles. All right. I don't know how exactly they adjust every single one of their battery bars, but it already went back up to full. And I gotta say, I mean, this is a very, very comfortable bike, guys. I don't really say that about a lot of bikes, but this is way beyond comfortable. This is nice and plush. I mean, I can ride this all the way until both batteries die, and that's saying something. All right, so we're at our hill test. Let's see how this thing does. I'll do one with only throttle, then we'll do it again using the pedal. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's definitely pulling out. It's losing traction. Okay, there we go. We finally got traction. So here we go, 16, 17. All right, 17 miles an hour. So here we go, throttle and pedals, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Whoa, we're slipping everywhere. Oh, this is definitely helping the bike though. Check this out. 18. Oh, well, it said 17, but I know it was close to 18. That actually felt like it picked up faster this time. Let's see how this thing feels kind of taking it off a small little jump right here. All right, well, yeah, that extra weight on the front, you definitely have to go a little faster than that. There we go, there we go. Nice plush landing. The chain definitely makes a little tiny bit of noise because we do have gears, so the chain is a little loose back there, but not the end of the world. Coming up to the bridge test right here. Oh yeah, easy peasy. The bars are not that big, but they had enough room just to put my phone up here, and you have a little bit more room on this side to put some type of light or accessory, whatever you want to put. But there's not much room in the middle. You notice we have this and we have the display, and the display only goes on one way. The display is non-adjustable. There's 2 screws in the back. The only way to move this display is if you move your whole entire handlebars closer to you or farther away. And the only way I can see the display is if I look like this because the sun is right behind me. And that's the only way I can see those numbers. But I'm glad I got my phone up here to see how fast I'm going. Another bridge test. Oh yeah. Ooh, lost a little bit of traction right there. The next thing we gotta try out is the pedal response and the throttle response. Let's start out with the pedal. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. All right. It was like a 1.5 second delay or so. Let's do that one more time. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, not bad. It's not instant, but I'm okay with that. Instant will literally get you in trouble as soon as you hit a light and you barely move the pedal. So having a little bit of delay on the pedals is nice. Now let's try out the throttle response. I believe the throttle response is similar. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. Yep, and then there's a second motor. So let's do that one more time. 1, 2, 3. Motor, front motor. So that's how long it took for that front motor to come back on. Now, it kind of depends on how fast you're rolling, I notice. If I'm going slower, the front motor and everything comes on faster. But the faster I'm going, the slower it takes for those motors to click on. Maybe it's a safety thing for the motors, but watch, check this out. 1, 2, 3, power, and power in the front. See how much quicker that was? Let's do it right now at this speed. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, power. Power in the back. But if I'm going 30 miles an hour, then yeah, it's a huge delay. So let's kind of get into why you would buy this one over the non-pro. Now, having 2 motors, obviously for hill climbing, dirt, sand, hills, stuff like that. Coming up hills, you do got to be a little careful. You might have to air your tires down because it will lose traction. So sometimes it actually makes it harder than having a single motor in the back, but it also depends on the power. This thing definitely has enough power. You can always put it in a lower mode and climb, barely like little climb up a hill or something like that. You don't always have to be in pedal assist 5. So if I was to go up that other hill, I'm pretty sure I could do a little bit better without slipping, but I'd just go a lot slower. Other than that, I mean, personally, like, you do lose battery range on this thing, and you're gonna go down battery faster on this one. The only thing I really like that they got rid of on this one compared to the other one was that switch. I love the fact that you can just run both batteries, because a lot of people are just putting a battery blender and getting rid of that switch altogether, because it just made sense to have both batteries activated at all times. And if you wanted to turn one of them off, you just use a switch on the actual battery itself. I just don't understand why they got rid of the battery capacity on this thing. They should have at least kept it the same, or if not, made it bigger, because you have 2 motors now. You're going to be powering a lot more, and to get closer to the range on the original G70, you need that battery capacity. So this is going to be the shorter range of the 2. So if you're looking for more range, go with the original G70 and not the Pro model. Now, there's a lot of people looking for bikes like this, and why are they looking for bikes like this from HAPPYRUN? Well, HAPPYRUN has been including a lot of stuff for their bikes. So you obviously get, a half twist throttle. I don't know what you guys prefer, but a lot of people say they prefer this over a thumb throttle. I like full twist throttles, but I mean, I also like thumb throttles too. These do hurt your hands over a while, but I mean, hey, it's to each their own, right? But the thing is, you get a headlight button right here, so you have a dedicated button for that. You get turn signals front and back. You also get a dedicated horn button right here. It's not an actual horn, it's coming from that headlight up front, but it's loud. It's decently loud, and you can hear. You get BMX style handlebars. You get a nice windshield right here. The grips are pretty cheap. You can always replace those. You get adjustable suspension up front. You got 2 bolts right here, so you can put an extra bag right here, or a water bottle holder, something right here that you want to put some type of accessory. You can do that. It comes with NFC, so it's a nice safety thing. If you're going to leave your bike somewhere, someone can technically still ride off with it, but they can't get power on the bike, so they're not going to actually be able to use the electrical assistance. And plus, it's kind of cool having a key card anyway to turn your bike on. Just remember, it's on this side. If you're on this side, it doesn't work. Also, it's cool because when you do use your turn signals, you do have little indicators right here to let you know that it's on. Also, same with your headlight as well, so you know during the day if you don't know it's on or not, you can turn it off, which is pretty cool. Now, to go through some of these modes on the S button, because this is your only button you have on here, you have to hit it 3 times to go through some of your modes. So I'm gonna hit it 3 more times, 1, 2, 3. That brings us into our trip. I hit it again 3 more times, 1, 2, 3. That brings us into our odometer, but I don't see anything on here. What happens if I hit it 4 times? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nothing. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Bring it back into odometer. If I hit it 2 times, it does absolutely nothing. If you hold it too long, it will actually turn the whole bike off, and you have to turn it back on with the NFC and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to do all that. And if you hit it once, it just goes back to your mode, 0 to 5 for pedal assist. So I don't see anywhere to get some like voltage reading or power outputs or any type of information on the display. But the fact the bike comes with rear pegs, so you can bring your friends along with you just in case they don't have a bike. You have dual motors on this thing to be able to haul your friends around just in case their bike dies, and tie a rope to the back of yours. The turn signals in the back, the brake light, we'll check that out in the second video. You got the rest for the back for the passenger. You also have the storage, carry-in cargo rack. It comes free if you buy the bike now. You have 7 speeds on this thing from Shimano, even though I'm not a big fan of this one right here, but each their own. I mean, it works. I had no issues shifting gears. I'll even do it right now. I mean, it's nice and smooth, no clunkiness, no whatsoever. The gears aren't skipping, nothing. But yeah, this bike has a lot going for it. You get a lot for your money. So it just depends on if you're looking for a bike like this or not. But again, if you want range, get the original one. If you want more power, go with the Pro. And that is pretty much it, guys. I had a blast riding this thing. It's pretty much the same thing. That's why I didn't go over it too much, because you can always go back on my original video and see the non-Pro model on what I talked about and up close stuff. It's just very minor changes. A motor, and they change the batteries, and they change the rear suspension, and that is pretty much it. But let me know if you guys are going to buy this bike. The links are down in the description with discount codes and everything like that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So until next time, guys, when we do the night riding video. Dang, that's a big pumpkin.